One of the most common tasks that we would come across while building automations would be to send out an automated email. It can be a customer email, it can be something internal, a notification to ourselves. Regardless, the best way to do this in Make, if we are already using Gmail, of course, is to use the Gmail app. So I'm going to create a new scenario and I'm going to add the Gmail app send email functionality. Now to use this, as with any other app we make, we have to create a connection. However, when I'm going to this create a connection dialog, what we would see is that there are some extra steps involved with Google accounts. So if we are using Google Workspace, then this sign in with Google should work just fine. However, with Gmail and Google Mail, it's not going to currently work at all. And the guide link that they provide is actually also broken. And even before it was broken, it was showing an outdated version of Google Cloud. So it was not really relevant anymore. So hopefully they are going to fix it. But even then, you might prefer a video format. So I decided to make a 2025 version of this tutorial. So to set this up, what we basically need to do is click on this show advanced setting, and we have to use our own client ID and client secret of an application that we have set up on Google Cloud. It's going to work with 100 different Google accounts, by the way, so we don't have to create this application for every single Google account that we would be using if we would be using multiple. And also we can use this across make.com accounts. We can use this for different clients if that's what we need to do. So to create our application, what we have to do is go to this console.cloud.google.com website. And if we go to this domain and choose our Google account, if we're not already logged in, this is the screen that we are going to be greeted with. So it's going to offer us $300 in free credits and a try for free button. We don't need to actually do this. So we don't need to add our billing details at all, because we are not going to use any functionality that is paid, not even with the free credits. And basically, we are going to set up a login screen for an application that is just going to be a login screen. So, and that part is completely free in Google Cloud. So what we have to start with here is create a project. If we don't already have a project, if we have a project, we can reuse that. But if we don't, then we have to go to this select a project dialog and click on new project. And it does not matter what we name it, but it can be useful to name it something that we can remember if later we would have multiple. And now it's going to take some time to actually create our project. And once it is created, we can go to, again, the select a project dialog and choose our created project. The next step is going to be enabling the Gmail and Drive APIs within our project. If we don't want to use the Drive application in Make, then Gmail is going to be enough. And to do this, in the top search bar, we have to type in Gmail and click the first result, which is going to be Gmail API. And we have to click Enable. And once that is done, we have to repeat the same process with Drive, assuming that we are setting up our access for both of these applications. So when this is done, we will have to set up our credentials and OAuth consent screen. And to find where this is, we can use the left navigation menu. And here, by default, the top menu item is going to be APIs and services, where the OAuth consent screen resides. So if we click on that, we will be greeted with the Google Auth platform configuration, which we have to go through. So all we have to do here is, again, give our application a name, choose external if we want to use it with multiple accounts, and just give any example contact information, because this is only going to be used on our login screen that we are the only user of. So it doesn't really matter what we're showing here, but of course, if we want to show it to a wider audience, then we should give an actual email support address where they can reach us if something goes wrong. But for now, we have to just agree to the data policy and continue with creating our application. The next step is going to be to add our authorized domains, which are going to be the domains where our login screen or consent screen can be displayed. And for this, we have to add two different domains. One of them is going to be make.com. The other one is going to be integromat.com, which is the old domain or make.com platform. So we still have to add that because it is still in use in some internal aspects of Make. And for this, we have to go to the branding page. And here we can add our authorized domains. And once that's done, the next step that we have to do is to go to the data access menu and add our scopes, our permissions for using different data from and different functionality from our users who have given us the consent to use that specific functionality in their Google account. So we have to click on add or remove scopes, and first we can add the Gmail API related permissions. So the easy way is to go to the filter, type in Gmail API, and then display all rows by increasing this row per page. So we can select all of them. We don't necessarily need all of the permissions that are listed here. So if you need more security, then it is suggested to actually review what we would want to use make.com for actually. So for example, I can remove the access to the settings API, which we probably wouldn't need. That's not required to access mails and send mails on our behalf. And once that's done, we can click on update, and we can do the same for the drive permissions, which for now I'm just going to add all of them for simplicity. And this also needs a save to make sure that we have added all of our access permissions. And now we are almost done. We just need one small thing, which is to go to the audience and click on Publish App to make sure that it's not in testing mode. Because if we leave it in testing mode, then every 7 days we would have to reauthorize. And it is going to show us that it needs verification, but it is going to work without verification as well. We just need to every time say that we are trusting this application, even though it is not verified by Google. And now we just need to add our client, which is going to get us the client ID and client secret credentials that we can then use for make.com. And to do this, we can go to client, create client, and choose web application. The name does not matter. We can leave it at anything, but I'm going to again change it to make.com. And we have to add our redirect URLs to make sure that our login screen will be able to redirect to any of the screens that Make is using to complete the authentication. And now we can click create, and now we got our client ID and client secret that we are going to be able to use in Make, and we can copy them from here directly, but I'm not going to do that now because imagine if we accidentally close this window. So I'm going to show how to go back and get this again. So what you have to do is go to the navigation menu, go back to OAuth consent screen, and then go back to the client. And here we can see the client that we have already created, and the client ID and client secret is going to be accessible here anytime we need it if we have to set it up again. So now all what's left is to actually go ahead and test this. So I'm going to copy this client ID to the make.com app, and I'm going to do the same with the client secret. And now that we have added this, we can use our own consent screen with the sign into Google button. And I can use a different email address if I want, so I don't have to use the same that I have created this with. However, I am going to be greeted with this warning screen because this is not a Google verified application. And so to bypass this, I have to click on advanced and go to integromat.com. But from here on, it's going to be the same as if it was a verified application. So I can just click on continue and give the required permissions for make.com to use our Gmail account. And once that's done, we can see that currently it is April, so we have 6 months to reauthorize this connection the next time, and I can actually send an email to verify that this is going to be working. Can click on run once, and it is going to show us the message ID and that the operation was successful. So this was the 2025 setup of the Gmail application with make.com. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, I appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are interested in similar automation tutorials. Bye for